For the first game of the day on the slate, we got the Boston Celtics versus the Charlotte Hornets. Enes Kanter and Jaylen Brown will be out for the Celtics, and Batum and PJ Washington will be out for the Hornets. Both teams are on win streaks. Charlotte on a 3-game, Boston on a 5-game. It is an even matchup on paper right now, with the edge in offense and defense going to the Celtics. Kemba will be playing his former team, so I see him coming out there ready to go from the jump. This is really crazy right now to see, Kemba going back to Charlotte. His first game in Charlotte. He should get a standing ovation when he gets out there. It's going to be nice to see that. This game, I would have to say, is pretty even on paper, even though the Celtics are the hotter team. Jaylen Brown being out for the game is definitely big for the Celtics. So he's a big piece of what they do. Enes Kanter hasn't really played all season, so it's not really anything for him to be out right now for them. Batum is a big hit for the Hornets. So if I had to go with the educated guess right now, I would say that Boston will win the game 105-102. Kemba Walker's averaging 26 points per. So it's just a really big game for him. Really big game for him coming back home to Charlotte and really getting down and seeing how he really reacts to the crowd participation and everything that's going to go on when he gets out there. But I believe that Charlotte will just be a little bit overwhelmed by what the Celtics do. They have a lot of weapons, and even though Charlotte's playing well, I don't see them being able to beat the Celtics. So we're looking at a 105-102 game. We're looking at a good game, but the Celtics will edge them out in the end. Next game on the slate will be OKC versus San Antonio. OKC has Andre Robertson, who will be out of the game tonight. OKC is on a 2-game win streak, while San Antonio is on a 2-game losing streak. This will be a game of whose pace wins out in the end. The Thunder play a very slow-paced game, so it looks like their defense is better than it really is. They just play really slow, so there are fewer possessions in the game, so nobody can really score over 100 on them. They're right at 100 for points against per game. San Antonio will have to push the pace at times to make the Thunder play at their speed and not the one that they are accustomed to. This is going to be a very good game. Very good game. Very close game. I see this game maybe possibly going into overtime because both teams are going to need an extra couple of minutes to see if we can iron this game out. DeRozan is going to be DeRozan. Gilgeous-Alexander's been playing well. He's a young guy, but he's been playing well for the OKC Thunder. And we'll see what happens in this game. But I'm really picking this one. This is a toss-up. This is one of those you can just throw it up in the air. I believe that San Antonio will edge them out 108-109. It's just one of those things that I'm just having a feeling about. The numbers and the analytics show that that's where this is going to go. And 109-108 San Antonio. I believe this game might go into overtime. And it's just going to be a really good game. This will probably be the best game of the day. There'll be several good games. I think there's going to be really 3 good games today, but this will be one of the better ones of the day. The next game on the slate will be Miami versus the Phoenix Suns. Phoenix has been on a roll lately with a 3-game win streak coming into the game, and Miami has been playing well, albeit dropping its last contest. This will be the best game of the day as far as I'm concerned for matchup purposes. Both teams are super evenly matched. There is almost no advantage on either side. Miami forces more turnovers than the Suns do and blocks more shots. Both play at a similar pace, so this one should be a high-scoring game if the shot percentages stay around the mid-40s. Devin Booker has been absolutely unconscious the last couple of weeks. Well, the last, pretty much the beginning of the season, all the way through. He's been pretty good the whole darn way. Jimmy Butler is going to be out there trying to keep him under wraps. That should be a nice matchup to look at. I'm figuring that Jimmy will guard Booker for most of the time that he's out there. Jimmy likes to take on the top offensive threat on the other side. And we're definitely going to see a game where both teams have similar styles. Very similar styles. It's very tough for most teams to win in Phoenix. But Miami is not one of those teams. Miami actually plays well in Phoenix. I think that has a lot to do with Goran Dragic being on the team and playing in Phoenix formerly. So he feels kind of comfortable out there. And should be a very, very good contest. But I believe that Miami's going to edge them out on the road, 109-107. This is going to be another really, really close game. Two teams that are very, very evenly matched. Very evenly matched. They do the same things well. They do the same things wrong. So it's gonna really be a game of who's going to make the least amount of mistakes. And like I said, Miami forces the most amount of turnovers. So it probably is going to be them that forces more turnovers than they actually commit. So that's why I'm picking them to win the game. And plus the numbers say so. I don't just pick a team and be like, yeah, they're gonna win because they're Miami. No, I don't do that. I go by the numbers. I really break this stuff down, and then by the numbers, it's got Miami winning 109-107. So be on the lookout for another really, 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 really good game. Next game on the slate, we have the night game, the game that will be televised nationally. The Portland Trail Blazers against the Los Angeles Clippers. Pau Gasol and Zach Collins are out for Portland, and Paul George is still sidelined for the Clips. And Kawhi Leonard will play tonight. The fun guy will play tonight after taking the night off because of load management and ruining my picks for yesterday. With Leonard playing in the game, it will be vastly different than last night for the Clips. He is their engine and makes them go. Lillard and Leonard are basically walking 30s right now. We could see a good old-fashioned shootout of some fashion. We should see something like that. You know, one guy going off, the other guy trying to go back and match it. I just think the Clippers are too much with Leonard, man. Their defense is ridiculously stifling when he's out there, and Paul George is not even out there yet. So I just don't see any of the other guys getting off. Lillard may get his, but he's going to be guarded by the great Patrick Beverley, defensive hound. So I don't think he's going to get an easy 30. If he does get 30, it's going to be a tough 30. But we all know Lillard likes to rise to challenges and loves the moment and all of that, Dame time and all that garbage. So he's definitely going to go out there and give his best out there. But that man right there, Kawhi Leonard, is a death sentence for a lot of people. He's just playing out of his mind. He's a really, really great player. But if I had to, by the numbers, it says that this one is going to be a blowout. So don't get comfortable. It just blowout. Los Angeles Clippers, 126. Portland Trail Blazers, 105. This one will not be close. This is going to be one of those yeehaw games where they just going to get their behind slapped. So get ready for that. It's a highly televised game, but this one is over with early. Just in case you wanted a recap of yesterday and how we did, I'll do that at the end of each video. Yesterday, the Knicks lost to the Pistons 102-122. I had Detroit winning as well, but the score was 103-105 Detroit. So we did well there on the pick for the win, but the score was a little off, and sometimes it's hard to get the right score. But the next game, very, very promising. We had the Wiz versus the Pacers, and the Pacers beat the Wizards 121-106. And I had the Pacers winning 123-104. So that was darn near like spot on. That was it. We hit that one right where it needed to be. The Bulls beat the Hawks 113-93. And we had the Bulls winning 112-106. So the score was off. The Hawks scored a little bit more than what I thought they would. But the only reason that they did was because Trae Young did play. When I did my analytics, Trae Young was out for the game. As you heard me state, if you watched the last video, Trae Young was out when I did the analytics. So I had them only scoring 93 points. But he did play, so they scored 13 extra points. But the Bulls were right there where I thought they would be. I had them at 112. and the Hawks were at 106. So I'm sorry, I reversed that. Trae Young did play. I don't know why they scored 93 points. I'm sorry, I got that backwards. I don't know how they only scored 93 points, but I actually had the Hawks scoring more than that. I had them scoring 13 more points than that. But the Bulls scored. The final score for the Bulls looked well. The Hawks they laid an egg out there, I guess, even with Trae Young playing. The next game was the Kings versus the Raptors. And the Kings scored 120 points. The Raptors scored 124, winning the game. I had the Raptors winning 115-101. The Kings came out and really, really fought. Valiant effort, but it just looked like I said, the Raptors were just going to be too much. I thought the score would be a little bit more lopsided than what it was. So we actually picked that game correctly. Next game, we had the Warriors versus the Rockets. Now, everybody knew that the Warriors were going to just beat the dog mess out of them, and that's exactly what happened, 112-129, Rockets winning. I had the Rockets winning 131-98, so the Warriors put up a little bit more points than I thought they would. The Rockets put up about exactly what I thought they would put up. We were 2 points off there. This game right here was the one disappointment for me as far as the night goes. The T-Wolves lost to the Grizzlies 137-121. I don't know what the heck happened. They scored way more points than I just couldn't believe that. That was ridiculous. I had Minnesota winning the game 118-112. So they got the amount of points that I thought they would get. I thought they would get around 118, 120. So they were 3 points off of that, but they let the Grizz go haywire. 137 points is incredible. That's just a massive amount of points in an NBA game. The next game on the slate was the Magic versus the Mavs. Now, this is the game I said was the trouble game. I was like, it's going to surprise you. I picked the Magic to win that game, and I picked the Magic to win it 110-108. Now, it just didn't go the Magic's way, but they played well enough to win the game, and they were severely outmatched by the Mavs. They shouldn't even been in that game, but that was a trap game for me. The matchups just looked really, really well analytically on paper, and it just was really, really one of those matchups I was looking at saying, wow, okay, this might be trouble game right here for them. So we picked that one wrong, but the score was right there, man. We were right there with the score. It was a close game. It was a nail biter. The next game of the day was the 76ers versus the Utah Jazz, and we picked Philly to win 112-111. The Jazz ended up winning 106-104. So once again, nail biter. We had the point differential almost where it was supposed to be, 1 or 2 points. We were right there. So it was a close game, and it just didn't go the 76ers way. It's tough to win in Utah, but I thought they'd be able to pull it out. They almost had it right there. Probably went down to 1 or 2 possessions in the game, just like I had it 112-111. It was 106-104. Just didn't bite the other way. The last game of the night was the Bucks versus the Clippers. Now, the Bucks versus the Clippers was one of those games where, wow. Kawhi Leonard sat out, so he messed that all up. They still only lost the game by 5. It was 129-124 Bucks, but we had the game 113-117 Clips, but Kawhi didn't play, so I guess that was the deciding factor in the game. That was just we had the game winning by 4. Yeah, they won the game. Bucks ended up turning that around, winning it by 5. So, it just really hurt that this man didn't play the game. So we'll see. If you're enjoying the channel, if you're enjoying what's going on with what we're doing with these analytics and the games and picking future games and future scores and all of that, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. We will be doing this as long as you guys support it. I'm going to do this for a while to see if we can build a buzz about it. But I'm going to do this. I can do this every day. I do it every day anyway. It's a hobby of mine, and I would do this regardless if I wasn't making videos on it. I still do it every day. So definitely appreciate you guys, and hopefully we can continue this trend of showing you how analytics works and how the story can be told before the game is even played. Thank you very much.